Where did Eddie Brock go? Lost in time without his symbiote and without his son? Well, let's hop into the pages of Venom issue number 5 and find out together, shall we? So then, a major new recurring character for this Ram v. Al Ewing series is named Meridius. He was there when Eddie Brock was seemingly killed and got unmoored from time and space. We also discovered at the end of the previous issue that he's pulling the strings of Carlton Drake and the Life Foundation. Well, we hop back in time once again to see what became of Eddie Brock the first time he came face to face with this guy. It seems that after getting blown up in issue 1, Eddie's mind was sent to some place called the Time Garden, an otherworldly realm of Meridius's own creation made entirely of, get this, dormant symbiotes. Eddie figures that if Meridius is capable of doing something like this, he must be incredibly powerful. Hell, he must be like Null or like him, right? Meridius confirms that he is indeed a king in black. In fact, they're not the only ones in the Time Garden right now, as it is home to other kings in black from across time. Yes, Eddie may have succeeded Null to become the king in black, but he will not be the last, it seems. All of these other kings are trapped in the Time Garden with Meridius because, like Eddie, they ended up transcending their physical form. In fact, some of the other cheekier symbiote kings believe that Meridius is trapped here too, but is just making a big show about knowing more about what's going on than he actually does. Some of these kings too have gone quite mad, like a gray symbiote who ends up running up on Eddie only to be taken out by Bedlam, the giant red rampaging symbiote monster that Eddie had thought he had done battle with in space all the way back in issue 1, but now we know that situation is much more complicated. Eddie, always quick to be the hero, jumps on in to try and defend the gray symbiote from Bedlam, even though all the other symbiote kings just stare on and watch like this is a regular occurrence in this place. The gray guy isn't exactly thankful either, even he begins cheering on Eddie's death at one point. Yeah, the Time Garden is a weird place, that's for certain. But the big question, of course, still remains, what is exactly Meridius's deal? What is he after, and why does he care so much about the lives of Eddie Brock and his son? Well, we see Meridius actually reach through time and take over that symbiote husk like he did back in issue 1. Apparently this was all part of a much bigger plan to move Eddie and Dylan around the board like chess pieces. From there, Meridius also constituted himself a fake Eddie body so he could try and interact with Dylan, only he was shocked and surprised to find that Eddie called his own son on the phone, meaning at some point in the future, Eddie will break his control and escape the Time Garden. Because this is one of those time travel-like stories where it's not a straight line, where everything is all kind of happening at once in time. It's admittedly a lot to take in all at once, but it's a clever concept, and I'm interested to see how they'll play with it in the future. We also get treated to a lot of Meridius's own internal monologue and learn what kind of character he is. He sees the dirty house that Dylan is living in and actually really drags Eddie as a father, saying that all of his work as the King in Black has taken him away from his own son. Meridius had hoped that this familial strain would allow him to manipulate Dylan, but unfortunately he ran off. We also discover that one of the main points of Meridius's plan is to have Dylan fuse with the symbiote. Real Eddie told his son on the phone not to do that, but obviously after reading the previous issue, we know that Dylan and the symbiote didn't stick to that plan. And you might be thinking, so does Meridius want to become the King in Black in this modern era? No, actually. Apparently Meridius's grand master plan is to become, well, Venom. But why? But how? But when? Well, to answer those and other questions, I guess we'll have to check back on in next time. And so that was Venom issue number 5, everybody, and this issue really is the series kind of changing gears. I know a lot of people will be happy to finally follow up on what happened to Eddie, though admittedly we don't spend that much time with him, as this is mostly a Meridius-centric issue. For what it's worth, they're definitely trying to sell him as a very powerful villain on the same tier as Null, but one who uses completely different tactics. I'm also still not 100% convinced whether or not Venom is the place to tell a time travel epic, but hey, you know what, it's what we're doing, and it's definitely different than the cosmic horror stuff of the previous run. For what it's worth, the series is doing just enough keeping itself compelling, offering up enough mysteries that I want to pick up the next issue and see if the next one can also keep my interest. Overall, I'd give this one a 7 out of 10. Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quests. That's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow and, help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.